Michelle Beadle, you need a thing, Wendy. We are the official Cavs network during weekdays, and so we've got a doubleheader set up for you guys. 3 of the top teams in the league. One of those, of course, is top half of the East, but certainly not playing like it, and it's Cleveland. They had a 43-point first quarter, led by 21 in the second quarter, went on to lose by 18 to the Magic Tuesday night. 6-13 in their last 19 games. Things are so bad, LeBron was asked what was once the unthinkable.
Listen, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here for this season right now to try to, figure out ways we can still compete. I couldn't give up on my teammates like that.
Brian, you've been following him since he was a teenager. I ask you, is this the end of the Cavs with LeBron era part 2?
Can you believe we're asking that question in February? Can you believe he has to go in front of the cameras and say that he is not going to waive his no-trade clause? Can you believe that there were teams calling, wondering if he would waive it, which is one of the reasons why he had to go public, because teams were getting trade packages ready in the event they were doing it. Out of everything that's gone on, there's been this drip, drip, drip. We've gotten used to Cavs drama every day. The fact that we are here is absolutely unbelievable. And that interview was one of the most amazing interviews I've seen LeBron do in a long time, because not only does he say, I'm not going to waive my no-trade clause, which is a crazy question, he says, I'm here for the long haul right now. That statement is absolutely, that right there encapsulates what we have with the Cavs, because right now and long haul don't go together, and therefore the Cavs organization is paralyzed.
I'm going to love you forever for like a week. That's about it.
Listen, it depends on how you define the end of LeBron era. Yes, I do believe that this is the end of the Cavs' run to the NBA Finals, if you're going to define the LeBron era like that. I never thought they were ever going to win another championship with the Golden State Warriors constructed the way they're constructed.
I mean, he did say that during the finals.
And I did say it was.
He said a lot of things.
I said that this was the end of the LeBron era in the championship last year. And now it takes till February for everybody to realize that. Yes, he's going to continue to play. He's going to continue to put up big numbers. But as far as winning a championship and even probably being on a contender, it could be over.
Listen, with their dysfunction, going on within this organization between LeBron James and management, if there are no deals done by the time this trade deadline is over, yes, I think this era is over for LeBron James. Because if you don't improve this team to have him contend for a title or get out of the Eastern Conference is where we at with this team. Get out of the Eastern Conference this year. You will lose him. It will be the end of the era. I don't see how he stays if you don't improve this team right now.
I'm with you, T-Mac, end of an era, because I like to judge success off of realistic expectations. And coming into training camp, the expectation of a LeBron James-led team is to be competing for championships. Now they're trying to compete for the Eastern Conference crown. They've taken a step back. And the flagrant thing that they made a mistake at was trading Kyrie Irving. Why are you trading your young asset with 2 years left on his contract?
Because he didn't want to be there.
So what?
But he said afterward, he was going to find a way not to play. You really want to keep a guy who doesn't want to play?
Yes, because I have you under contract. And you want to make
but he said he was going to figure out, he's going to get surgery.
Bees, let me tell you something.
No, but you can address something that you've been putting off.
No, let me tell you something that athletes aren't trying to do. Get on the table and get surgery if they don't have to.
Yeah.
He was not going to do that. And plus, even if he was, again, you're the Cavs, he's under contract. You don't make that move. So because of the way this team is playing, and LeBron James is a big part of it, I agree with you guys.
Have you guys ever been forced to work with someone that you absolutely do not want to be around? Like despise, right?
Happens every day in sports.
But there are people that are equipped to deal with it, that are very chill, and they understand that. And then there are other people that don't have a poker face, that don't want to deal with it. And I truly believe Kyrie's one of those guys.
You got to have a working relationship.
No, you don't.
For us to play sports in the NBA,
I know, I understand that.
We have worked with people that we don't like all of the time. We're not like you that cannot deal with people we don't like.
But Kyrie might have been that guy, and they may have realized they didn't have a choice. Because everyone keeps saying you shouldn't have traded Kyrie. They clearly realized they didn't have a choice.
I get that, but I don't think that started last season. This probably has been going on. They actually won a championship together.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So, I mean, it wasn't a great relationship, but they set all that aside and still went out and competed and played for a championship.
It might have gotten worse.
That's what a working relationship is. I mean, you have to see the guy every day. I don't have to hang with you. I don't have to even say hi to you. But when we're on the court, we can work together, and that's obviously what they had on the court.
Hindsight being 20/20. Dan Gilbert probably should have gone Dr. Jerry Buss when Kyrie asked for the trade. When he had the situation between Shaq and Kobe, he probably should have come to LeBron and said, LeBron, will you sign this extension right now? Answer yes or no. If the answer is no, let's work out a trade. I know you have a no-trade clause, but let's work it out. But okay, that moment passed. Now, there's an opportunity to pivot here. LeBron is still under contract for the rest of the season. The Cavs still have the opportunity. After the trade deadline, whatever the roster is tomorrow at 3 o'clock is going to be what LeBron does. Now, pivot and say, I'm going to try to get this team to the finals. And if I do that, that's a feather in my cap as one of my great accomplishments. There is still time to save this season, but they have to both grow up. They both have to focus on what they do have left.
I don't think the way this roster is constructed and the way it plays, it can make it to the NBA Finals unless they infuse new blood into that locker room. I think they need a jolt by the way they've been playing recently.
Where's that going to come from?
That's the million-dollar question.
That's what we're waiting for till 3 o'clock tomorrow.
They had some new blood who's finally out there playing, and Isaiah Thomas had some things to say also about what's been going on.
We got to come together, and it's like right now, when we hit adversity, we go our separate ways, and that's just how I feel, and it looks like that as well.
So also he went on to criticize the coaches, their adjustments in the game, and Ty Lue has now said, nope, that's not true. So, Paul, it's just getting more and more dysfunctional as the hours go by. What's he talking about?
You know, the things that Isaiah has said over the last couple weeks, in all honesty, he's saying a lot of things that are true. It's just that I don't think the other guys want to hear it from him. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to guys that's been through the finals runs, that has championships in that locker. You know, you want to hear those type of things come to the media from LeBron. You know, you want to hear that come from like D-Wade. These guys, you know, they've been through adversity. They've won. But when it's coming from the new guy who just stepped in, he's not playing well, and he's saying these things, it's probably hard for the guys around him to accept.
When there are reports that you having meetings with Dan Gilbert, and when LeBron James is not seeing eye to eye with the owner, and then you're making these type of statements, like guys in the locker room looking at you sideways.
Yeah.
Like it's causing friction between the players. If he was playing like Isaiah Thomas was playing last year, he could come out and make these statements, but he's not playing great basketball. And honestly, when Calderon was in there, this team was playing better basketball. That's just the honest truth. I don't know what it's going to take for him to get back to that player, but he seems like he's damaged goods right now. And I hate that
for honesty for Isaiah, as you mentioned, points for honesty. One of the adjustments that Ty Lue needs to make is to not play Isaiah Thomas down the stretch of games. What's so surprising about about him saying that is he keeps putting Isaiah in the game at the end of the fourth quarter when these games are tight, when he's shooting 35% at one end and he's been statistically the worst defender in the league at the others. Ty Lue, in my mind, illogically continues to put him out there to try to get him back in rhythm. You want to start him, fine. You want to start him in the third quarter, fine. But time after time after time, even last night.
He's looking for King of the Fourth to come back.
I mean, yeah, he has a reputation.
He wants him to come back.
This guy has a reputation to be that player. You want him to get there. It's like, how do you compromise that? What did you bring him?
Well, it's been 14 games and he's not there. And he's criticizing not making adjustments. One adjustment would be to not play him down the stretch.
But since they're not going to beat teams with their defense and they hope to get timely stops, you hope he finds his offense, because that's how they're going to be able to win games. 115 points, 120 points. They're going to need Isaiah Thomas to even get to those numbers. So they need him in at the end of the game to hope to take pressure off of LeBron, because he's the only other guy that can create a shot.